I remember on one cool September night, I couldn't sleep. I was only 14 at the time, and the first day of high school was fast approaching. In fact, it was the very next day. I was nervous and riddled with anxiety, as I can imagine most kids are when they first start high school. A new school, new people, and new problems were only hours away, and there I lay, clutching my covers, tossing and turning, hoping that the neon red numbers on my clock would move just a bit slower. It was about 1:30 a.m. when my dad came into my room. I know because I never took my eyes off the clock. He sat and talked with me for a while about high school and starting new things. I think he could tell I was anxious, not like I could ever really hide it. After a bit, my brothers came in as well, and soon my room became a full-blown comedy club filled with laughter and jokes and stories about times past. We sat up talking for what seemed like hours, and slowly the dread I felt for the next day began to subside as I forgot about the first day of high school altogether. Then, as a final piece de resistance, and to finally seal the night away, my dad put on one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. This is a love letter to that movie, Harlem Nights. First off, if you've never seen Harlem Nights and have no idea what I'm talking about, please just shut this video off now and just go watch it. The movie truly speaks for itself. And for those that haven't watched it in a while, well, Harlem Nights is a 1989 American crime, comedy, drama, whatever film starring Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor as his co-star, with a star-studded supporting cast with the likes of Michael Lerner, Danny Aleo, Red Fox, Della Reese, and of course, Eddie's older brother, Charlie Murphy. Now, to say this was a funny movie would be an immense understatement. Almost the entire cast was made up of comedians, and you can see that bleed out into almost every single scene in the movie. Every second of the movie is riddled with jokes, be it slapstick, visual comedy, clever wordplay, over-the-top caricatures. It's all there. Every character has a chance to shine and make us laugh, and when they do, it's always in their own unique way. It's almost as though these roles were made specifically for them. Maybe because they were. Let me take you back. The year is 1988. Coming to America is a critical and box office success with Eddie Murphy as the leading man. The year before that, Beverly Hills Cop 2 hits the theaters in 1987 with a splash of critical acclaim and the box office dollars to go with it. In the same year, the highest grossing stand-up comedy film ever released was Eddie Murphy's Raw. It's safe to say that Eddie Murphy was on top of the world in the 80s. By the time he started working on Harlem Nights, he had become a household name, with him being the writer, director, and executive producer of the film. It's no wonder he could handpick the immense talent that made up the cast. I mean, this movie had Red Fox, one of, if not the most prolific stand-up comedians that had laughs dating back as early as the Civil Rights Movement, not to mention the timeless classic television show that was Sanford and Son. Arsenio Hall, who had just appeared as Eddie's co-star in Coming to America and would later become the host of the famous Arsenio Hall show. There's Robin Hugh Harris, best known for the comic sketch Bebe's Kids that would later on become an animated film in the 90s. Thomas Michael Ford, who would later go on to play Tommy and Martin, the hit singer and actress Della Reese, who had many top chart classics in the 50s and 60s, and would later go on to act in the television show The Royal Family with none other than Red Fox himself. Jasmine Guy, who was at the height of her career at the time, playing Nina in School Days just a year before Harlem Nights' theatrical release, while also playing Whitley on the hit Cosby Show spinoff A Different World. Charlie Murphy, who went on to write for the greatest comedy sketch show that ever aired on television, The Chappelle Show, not to mention the absolute star power that was Richard Pryor, who had achieved nothing short of legendary status up to this point. And it was all wrapped up in a bundle of smooth jazz and soulful blues arranged by none other than Herbie Hancock himself. And there's just so many more. Everyone who was or would be someone in black television was a part of this film. 3 whole generations of black comedy, all on the set of the same movie, all piggybacking off each other and playing their parts effortlessly to bring us what was to become Harlem Nights. This movie isn't just funny because of the humor that's right in front of your face. It's the subtle glances of the eyes when the detective calls Quick and Sugar jigs in their own office. It's the barely audible co-signing when Quick is about to fight Vera. It's the constant snickering and laughing when the characters are making fun of each other. It makes the movie feel real, like these are actual people we're watching talk shit and absolutely roast one another. And oh my God, do they roast each other. All throughout the movie, you hear all kinds of fat bitches and blind motherfuckers and all sorts of craziness. That's why this movie hits so close to home. These are the things we say over the lunch table at school or riding home on the bus. The type of schoolyard trash talk that black comedians are known for. The kind of talk we use with those closest to us. It makes you feel a part of the movie. Like you're just on the other side of the couch, just off camera, laughing along with them. Like you're at the table with a good group of friends and the laughter is just as abundant as the nostalgia forming in the air. I love this movie. Not because of the endless laughs and the amazing soundtrack. Not because I've watched every bit of stand-up from almost every single comedian that was in the movie. Not even because this was one of the first times a movie had a majority black cast, along with a black director and writer. No. It was because of the warmth it makes me feel inside when I press play, and my eyes are greeted with those soft blue velvet sheets, and that smooth jazz that nearly melts my ears away while I can't do anything else but listen and watch, as the screen reads in big, black, bold letters, Harlem Nights. It's the memories I have of being an anxious little boy staring at a clock in my room, dreading when the night would become day, and my savior, my father, coming to my aid when he was most needed, telling me stories from his childhood and watching a movie with me. A movie that would be ingrained inside my mind and would be a constant reminder of him, even if we are miles apart. Thanks for watching.